Breaking news, a San Antonio Police Department officer who was fired after repeatedly using a racial slur during the arrest of a black man will get his job back. This after an arbitrator agreed to overturn the firing of Officer Tim Garcia, reducing his punishment to a 10-month suspension. Eyewitness News reporter Mariah Medina has more from the officer's attorney and police chief William McManus.
San Antonio police officer Tim Garcia was fired in January after investigators say he repeatedly used racial slurs while arresting an African-American man for trespassing at River Center Mall in July of 2018. Internal affairs documents state that in addition to using racial slurs, Garcia repeatedly cursed at the suspect. He was fired for violating San Antonio Police Department rules of good conduct and treatment of prisoners, but appealed that determination. A two-day arbitration hearing was held earlier this year in which Garcia and Police Chief William McManus testified before the arbitrator. The arbitrator now deciding to ultimately reduce Garcia's suspension to 10 months. His suspension is set to expire on November 7th. Garcia's attorney, Morris Munoz, provided KENS 5 with the following statement, quote, "A two-day hearing was conducted by both parties in front of an arbitrator to hear the evidence and facts. Based upon the totality of relevant facts and circumstances, the arbitrator found there was just cause for a lesser suspension, not an indefinite suspension. From the beginning, Officer Garcia has been remorseful and respects the decision of the arbitrator." San Antonio Police Chief William McManus said he doesn't regret his decision to fire Garcia, saying, quote, "I stand by my decision to indefinitely suspend Garcia. This kind of behavior erodes the trust and legitimacy that the community places in the San Antonio Police Department." With respect to the arbitrator's decision, Garcia will be reinstated after completing the return to duty process. And Garcia will have to undergo additional training before he's reinstated to the force. He will not receive back pay. Mariah Medina, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.